You are not stuck because you are incapable. You are stuck because you've been living inside limits you learned, not the limits you chose. Sometimes the greatest barrier to growth is not the fear of failure, it is the fear of becoming someone new. Welcome back to Beyond Words and Becoming with Becky. I am Becky Imoisili, the voice of transformation and becoming. I am here to walk with you on this journey of rebuilding, realigning, and rising into purpose, not just for motivation, but for lasting transformation. This is where we stop pretending and start becoming everything we were created to be. This is episode 5 of the series, Becoming a Journey of Renewal. And today's topic is breaking internal limitations. One of the most difficult truths about becoming is this. Most of the limits holding us back are not around us, they are within us. We often believe that if circumstances change, growth will follow. If opportunities come, confidence will appear. If things get easier, then we will finally move forward. But renewal teaches us something different. It tells us that transformation does not begin when life becomes convenient. It begins when the internal limits we have lived with are confronted. Internal limitations are quiet. They don't announce themselves as fear. They often sound like wisdom. Maybe later. I am not ready yet. Someone else can do it better. This is just how I am. And because they sound reasonable, we rarely challenge them. But becoming requires honesty. Honesty about the fear you have normalized. Honesty about the comfort you have mistaken for peace. Honesty about the obedience you have delayed. Many of these limits were created as protection. Protection from disappointment. Protection from rejection. Protection from failure. At some point, they helped you survive, but survival is not the same as becoming. So you need to ask yourself these questions. What am I avoiding because it feels unfamiliar? What have I postponed because it feels uncomfortable? What story have I told myself to justify staying the same? You need to be honest with yourself. Internal limitations thrive where fear goes unchallenged. Fear doesn't always say, don't try. It sometimes says, not now. But becoming does not wait for perfect timing. It responds to obedience. You don't break internal limits by forcing yourself to be bold. It does not mean you suddenly become brave. You break them by taking small, faithful steps forward, moving forward even when fear is present. It means choosing growth over familiarity, truth over comfort, and obedience over delay. Breaking internal limitations is not about proving anything to anyone. It is about honoring the work God is doing within you. Sometimes, the greatest breakthrough is not external success. It is the courage to show up differently. Speaking when you would normally stay silent. Trying again when you would normally quit. Showing up consistently even when motivation fades. That is when renewal becomes real. Not when life changes overnight, but when your response begins to change. Now, here is the answer to the questions many of you are asking. What if I fail? Then you learn. What if I am not enough? Then you grow. What if I step out and it is uncomfortable? That is exactly where becoming happens. When I started my journey of becoming, I felt unqualified. I felt like I was not enough. Stepping out was uncomfortable and I was afraid, but I didn't quit. I grew. I stayed on the journey, and I am still on the journey of becoming. You are not behind. You are not incapable. You are simply standing at the edge of a new level. And edges always feel uncomfortable. Listen, every internal limitation you confront creates room for renewal to take root. You don't need to announce your growth. Just commit to one courageous choice this week. And remember, becoming does not start when you feel ready. It starts by being willing. Thank you for staying with me on the show today. If you have gained from this, share it with someone else. And please follow me, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. See you next week.